With every passing day, hundreds and thousands came to him. His home became a mandir with a moving and loving, smiling and playful deity. Yes, it was him and only him who turned everyone's tears into streams of bliss. As the bud blossomed to reveal 1,000 petals, it can only be said that the fragrance of the first few years is unique.
Swami says, Avatarinchita yantulo arthamemi. Why does God manifest? For what does God manifest? And then Swami tells in one of his writings, he says, do you think God manifests to destroy the evil? He says, no. Why does the cow produce milk? It is not for you to make coffee and have. Right? You do that also, but that is not the purpose why the cow produces the milk. The cow produces the milk for the calf. And Swami says, similarly, when an avatar comes, so many other things happen. Dharma Sthapana happens, the evil get destroyed, and probably somebody gets rewarded, some institutions get built, somebody gets education, somebody gets cured. But the avatar does not come for that. Swami said, those are all the other things that you do with milk. What is that which the avatar comes for? Swami says, Janulapai Priti Vatsalya Paratatoda. He says he comes armed with two kinds of love. He says Priti and Vatsalya. Priti is interpersonal love, right? You have the love between two people. And Vatsalyam is the love that a mother has for the child. We all know God loves, right? We have no doubt about that. But does he love me? The avatar comes for that, to build that one-on-one relationship with each one of us. And that is why he specifically says, equipped with Priti and Vatsalya I come. So that you look at me and say, this is my Swami. Whatever is mine is his. He comes for that. And in fact, the early devotees who came to Patha Mandir, many of them had visited Ramana Ashram. Ramana was still alive then. Many of them have been to ashrams in Rishikesh and Himalayas. So they thought there's going to be something like that. So what is this Sai Baba teaching? And they come here, and what is Swami doing? Fun, frolic, and nothing more than that. So many of the devotees who came, they wondered, there is no rigor in this ashram. There is no yoga, there is no dhyanam, there is no japam. Swami is getting up and everybody is having breakfast and they're all running around. They're having a lot of fun. And that was precisely what Swami was doing. Swami was making everybody concentrate only on him. One of the things Karunamba Ramamurthy's mother says is that when she came, she was quite disappointed. There was no ashram atmosphere. And you know, when did all of these Suprabhatam, Nagar Sankirtan and all begin? It's a very important lesson for all of us. She would say that as Swami began traveling more, as devotees began staying in the ashram without Swami's presence, Swami gave them these tools of schedules to keep themselves focused on Swami in the physical absence of Swami. So that explains why it is very important for each one of us today to be participating in all of these activities. Because it was precisely created for moments like this. If you miss Swami, you have to participate in all of these activities. And the reason why it was not there was because it was not necessary. Swami was constantly singing bhajans, and all those bhajans were soaked with devotion, bhakti bhavam. There were points when Swami would sing Meera bhajans or bhajans, songs the Gopikas would sing, and Swami would start crying profusely, like a devotee would. We refer to that as Madhura Bhavam, right? Swami would go off into Madhura Bhavam and start crying profusely as though it is a Gopika pining for Krishna. There was a time when Swami was singing a song like this, and Swami started crying. Kumkum started coming out of Swami's forehead. And even as they were seeing, they found that a sari appeared over Swami's head. They found bangles around Swami's wrist. They found a nose ring on Swami's nose. They found earrings. Swami had given them the darshan of Radha. It is said that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is an avatar of Lord Vishnu, where Lord Vishnu comes in the form of a devotee to experience what joy a devotee experiences.
Giridhara Yaduvara Krishna Murari Shama Sundara Pitambara. Giridhara Yaduvara Krishna Murari Shama Sundara Pitambara.
And similarly, like that, Swami wanted to feel that joy. Not only Swami wanted to feel the joy, Swami wanted to tell them that this is what you need to do. Even when he would give a discourse, what would he speak about? He would cull out those episodes which portray devotion and bhakti from Mahabharata, Ramayana and talk about them. Swami was clearly sending a message, bhakti, bhakti, bhakti.
Bhakti, bhakti, bhakti. Bhakti. ఈ రెండక్షరములందే సర్వస్వము ఇవి ఉంటున్నది. భక్తి అనేటువంటిది బకారం ప్రధానమైనటువంటిది. ఆ భా అనేటువంటి కాంతి నుంచి తీ అనేటువంటిది. ఆ కాంతిని ఆకర్షించేటువంటిది తీ. భక్తి శక్తి. భక్తి నుండి శక్తి. శారీర మానసిక ఆధ్యాత్మిక శక్తులు మూడింటి యొక్క ఏకత్వమే శక్తి. ఈ రెండింటి ద్వారా రక్తి, ప్రాపంచిక సంబంధమైన రక్తి. ఈ ప్రాపంచ సంబంధమైన రక్తిలో మనం మునిగి తేలటం చేత విరక్తి. అప్పుడే దైవ రక్తి. భగవంతుడు మనకు భుక్తి కూడాను అందిస్తాడు. ఈ భుక్తి చేతని దేహంను కాపాడుకొని దైవ రక్తిని మనం పొందాలి. తర్వాతనే దీని వల్లనే ముక్తి అనేటువంటిది లభ్యమవుతుంది.
There was another episode where we had spoken about Balapattabi Chettiar. So this Balapattabi was sitting in a corner, sitting straight, and he was reading the Bhagavad Gita in Telugu. So Swami sneaks behind and Swami says, "Hey, what are you reading?" He says, "Swami, Bhagavad Gita." And Swami asks, "How many verses are there?" He says, "Swami, 700 verses." And Swami tells him, in the 700 verses, 3 are the most important. Paritranaya Sadhunam, where he says, "I come to protect and give joy to the devotees." And the other is Ananyas Chintayantoma, where he says, "If you think only of me without thinking of anything else, I'll take care of everything." And the last one is Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. All three which epitomize the quality of devotion. Interestingly, I was surprised to read that Swami was telling these 3 are the most important, because much later, in 1970s, in one of the summer courses, Swami mentioned this. And at the end of summer courses, we always have an exam, the summer course exam. And who was the invigilator for the exam? Swami himself. Or Swami was like the flying squad. He came, he was going around. And Swami came to where Ravikumar sir was sitting. And Swami asked him, "Oh, is the question paper easy?" Then Swami looked at the question which he was about to answer, which was, which are the 3 most important shlokas in the Bhagavad Gita? What are the 3 vows that Krishna takes? Then Swami asked him, "Do you know the answer?" He said, "Yes, Swami, I know." Then Swami tells, "Tell." Exam. Everybody's writing. Swami makes him stand up and tell out the answers loudly. But it's not about scoring marks in the exam, it's about learning the lesson, right? So Swami stood there and Swami gave another mini discourse on those 3 verses. The point I'm trying to make is, Swami was telling that this is the most important sadhana that you have to do. Why? No path is simpler than the path of love. And that path of love and bhakti is so much more easier when God is in front of you in a form and you can relate to that form. Talking about Kannamma, there's another beautiful tidbit about that. The first time when they come to Swami to see in Thirumal Rao's house, she tells her daughter and the other people, please don't ask Swami for a mantra. Says, none of you should ask Swami for a mantra. Why? Because just a month or so before, she had gone to somebody and she got initiated. Now if Swami also gives a mantra, what you will do? So she tells all of them, don't ask Swami for a mantra. And Swami also does not talk about it. And they come to Parthi for their first visit, Swami never talks about it. So one day when she is serving food to Swami, Swami asks her, if I give you a mantra, will you chant? See how slowly Swami enters the devotee's heart. By that time, she was yearning for Swami to give her something like that. Initially she said, no, I've already got initiated, I can't get initiated again. But now she was yearning that, will Swami give me a mantra? And what does Swami say? Whatever mantra you're chanting is good, just add Sai in front of that, Swami says. This appears like a very simple instruction or a simple episode, but it's a very, very poignant and very important episode. In Swami's Dhyana Vahini, Swami writes, there are 3 steps to dhyana: concentration, contemplation, and meditation. So Swami says, if that name that you are chanting is a name associated to a form that you love, the contemplation becomes automatic. You straight away go to the second step of contemplation. One of our senior brothers, he was part of the bhajan group, and Swami came early into the bhajan hall, and Swami was talking to all of them, and Swami would keep looking at the watch, at the clock. And Swami looked at the clock and said, 5 o'clock, bhajan, shuru cheyandi. Swami told. And then Swami bent down to this particular boy, and Swami said, the Omkara Swarupa is standing in front of them. They are closing their eyes and chanting Omkara. That was the opportunity which was available. And in fact, even now, the reason why bhakti is so much more easier for each one of us who have known Swami, who have loved Swami, who have been loved by Swami. Swami portrayed it so strongly and so poignantly in those early years.
Professor Kasturi documents, Swami had promised him that he would give a mantra, and it was in the holy city of Varanasi, and he was very excited, very eager to receive this mantra from Swami. Early in the morning he would get ready, but Swami would not give him a mantra. So at the dining table he's sitting with his head bent, he's very sad, and Swami asks him, Kasturi, what happened? Swami, he's pouting, so he doesn't want to even speak. And Swami comes, gets up from his chair, comes to Kasturi and tells, what happened, Kasturi? Swami, you said you'll give mantra, Swami, and you didn't give mantra. Then Swami said, you want mantra, why you want mantra? Swami, what? Why else, Swami? To go closer to God. And then Swami bent to his ear and said, how much closer, Kasturi? When we forget the spirit behind the ritual, it becomes meaningless. When we remember the spirit behind the ritual, it becomes spiritual. And Prem was mentioning about how Swami said, just add Sai to that and it's enough. As an aside, I remembered that when Swami does it, it's okay. There was a time during the 60th birthday when Swami came and told the students, you put up a program for my 60th birthday. That was a big responsibility, and of course it's exciting, but it also becomes a trouble because every day Swami will come and tell, so what is the new song? New song, what, Swami? Every day Swami would want a new song. So Sonam Gyamso, one of the senior students who was a composer and a lead bhajan singer, he was under tremendous pressure. So he went and confided to Ratanlal auntie and said, Auntie, I don't know what, Swami is every day asking me for new songs. Where do I get new songs from? She said, Beta, I have got one old book with me. Very nice poems are there. It's wonderful poetry. You take that maybe and you will get some ideas. He said yes. He went and he got that old book. It was torn, but the content inside was brilliant. Beautiful poetry, and he liked one poem in particular. He took that poem and composed 2 lines in the beginning. Sai naam bhajore, Sai naam bhajore.
की ज्योत जलाई मन में, नाम की ज्योत जलाई मन में, जीवन सफल बनाया। विषयों में जिनका मन भाया, वृथा जन्म गवाया। भजो रे परम नाम श्री साई, भजो रे परम नाम श्री साई। बोलो राम साई राम, बोलो राम साई राम।
So he went into the interview room and with great joy, with the harmonium, he sang the whole song. And Swami looked at him and said, "Hey, attach 2 lines in the beginning and make it new song, is it?" And then see the amazing thing. Swami said, "I gave this song to Om Sharan." Brother Sonam confides that when he went through the book in one corner, one place, because one side will be the name of the book, other side will be the author's name. One page it had not got torn, and there it was written Brahmachari Om Sharan, who later became Hari Om Sharan, who was known as the Bhajan Samrat of India. I don't know whether Hari Om Sharan knew about Swami or not, but that is the thing. The Lord knows. When you have love for the Lord, doesn't matter which form you worship. Whichever form you worship, it reaches the same Lord. Whether Swami was in Hari Om Sharan's list of gods, Hari Om Sharan was definitely in Swami's list of devotees. The Muslim community in the neighboring village, Karnata Nagepalli, which you cross the bridge, you reach there, they noticed something strange happening in their community. There was a lot of, disease. People were dying off rapidly. At the young age of 20-25, people were getting hunchback. Children would die at birth. The second child would die off and the mother would die, and so many things, only to the Muslim community. And they came to Swami seeking some help, and Swami walked to Karnata Nagepalli, went to one particular spot and said, "Dig over here." And they began to dig there. As they began to dig deeper and deeper, a wonderful aroma began to pervade the atmosphere, and people said it was the smell of sambrani. Sambrani in English is called benzoin resin. It's a very very prosaic kind of name, because sambrani is such a beautiful thing, and especially among the Muslims, they lighted it, emits fragrant smoke. And as they kept digging, Swami was seated on a cot, on a bed there. Bed meaning it was a cane cot. Swami was sitting and supervising the whole thing. Suddenly Swami said, look in the mud there. And they saw that in the mud there were some objects. There was a copper plate like thing, and there was a silver umbrella and a golden pir. Pirs are actually hand-shaped objects which are held with great reverence by the Muslims, and they mark the Battle of Karbala, which was fought by the martyrs Hassan and Hussein. And Swami revealed that for hundreds of years these have been worshipped. But sadly, in the past few decades, it has all been forgotten. It has got buried literally and figuratively. And people are stamping on it literally and figuratively also. As a consequence of that karma, this is happening. Start back your worship, start back your devotion, the problems will get solved. That is what happened. In fact, Swami himself took that golden peer, got it laminated with a silver sheet. He presented it to the Muslim community and told them that carry out a procession every year during Muharram. Swami himself gifted the clothes as well. And to this day, in Puttaparthi, during Muharram, there is the peer procession. They call it the Swami Peer. I think this is the only Swami Peer in the history of mankind. So Swami Peer goes in procession and the problem got solved. The community began to flourish again. And this interestingly is one Voddi Ganganna, who was one among those who was digging the pit there to unearth these peers. And this is one tragedy that was averted in 1946.
There's another interesting incident which happened in another neighboring village. This village is called Kammavaripalli. This Kammavaripalli has an interesting association with Swami. During Swami's 60th birthday in 1985, Swami visited two villages, Kammavaripalli and a village called Ammagondapalayam. And Ammagondapalayam is a little further away from here, and Swami had mentioned in a discourse during that time that these two villages are like my own eyes, Kammavaripalli and Ammagondapalayam. And during Gram Seva we would regularly go to these villages. Swami had inaugurated a Rama temple in this particular village, in both the villages. Those people you see with the scarves behind are not Sevadal, they are Swami students. Swami had specifically taken all of them. In fact, to Ammagondapalayam there was no road. The boys laid a road, then Swami went in a car to inaugurate that temple. And I also recall when we were doing Gram Seva once, this is what we heard. The next day we were supposed to go to Kammavaripalli for doing the distribution of Swami's Prasadam. And usually Swami's Prasadam is a packet of tamarind rice and a laddu. That's the usual prasadam that we would distribute. That morning, when we are getting ready to distribute, we find that there are no laddus. There are huge vessels of chakar pongal or sweet pongal. And we were wondering, what is this? How do we go around distributing this? And one of our teachers told us that somebody told Swami that we are going to Kammavaripalli, and Swami said, Kammavaripalli, tomorrow special prasadam, take chakar pongal for them. So that was the association that Swami had with this particular village. In this village, just like how it happened in Karnatnagipalli, there was an epidemic of sorts. There was a disease called Narakurupulu or Nari Kurupulu, what it was called in Telugu. People who were infected with this disease would start getting sores in the skin and they would not heal. And people would suffer a lot. For something like 3 months they would suffer and eventually they would die. And this started infecting a lot of people, so much so that almost every family had at least 1 or 2 members who had succumbed to this disease. Apparently it's an epidemic that spreads through water, and one of the people who had come from Bellary, who had already been infected with this disease, had gone into this particular well, the well where all the people in the village were drawing water from. And he had gone there to draw water and he had infected the well, by which he had infected everybody in the village. So they came and prayed to Swami that Swami should come and do something. So Swami said, okay, one particular day, I will come. And so Swami was literally taken in a procession. There were drummers and there was a huge procession. Swami went by walk. And Swami went around the village, and in 4 places, Swami buried coconuts with vibhuti. And then Swami gave vibhuti and Swami instructed them that put all around the place. Then in another coconut, Swami put vibhuti and put it into the well. And then Swami instructed these people, you go and clean the well and start using it. By doing Pandari bhajans, he chased out cholera from 3 villages as an 8-year-old boy. What was the necessity to do all this? It is because our minds think like that. It is not necessary, but then we feel comfortable when Swami does all of these procedures. These 2 episodes of this peer procession and this Kammavaripalli probably was a means by which the people around Puttaparthi were beginning to accept Swami more and more.